Oh, have we got any ideas for next time?
For next time? I was thinking, bro, I was thinking dinosaurs. Like, what dinosaurs could possibly still be out there.
Oh, yeah.
So have you heard of Makumembe?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before.
I think I'm saying that correctly. Possibly wrong.
I feel like you've said it right once upon a time, but this time you're saying
it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think it's an African one, eh?
Yeah, it's African one. Makumembe is,
you sound like you're saying Michael Membe. Who's like some flute player from Brazil.
Flute player from Brazil, you said Michael Membe sounds like a flute player from Brazil. But it's more like Makumembe.
Okay.
Makumembe. I don't know. That sounds French.
It sounded better.
It sounds French. But it sounds French.
But it sounded like it made more sense. Yeah.
Anyway, this is over in, I believe, the Congo.
Yes.
The Congo, yeah.
You've told me about this one before.
So there is a tribe within the Congo that many of their members have stories about seeing this creature, which they call Makumembe. Now these, we shouldn't go into it because this is how we should be starting our dinosaur one. But anyway, so we'll just leave our audience with a teaser of Makumembe, and that's what I think our next one should be.
Are we for or against it? Or are we just talking about it?
Just talk about it. I think it's interesting just to talk about this stuff.
Okay.
Because I mean, I don't think until there is definitive proof such as video footage, you can't say whether it's real or not.
So it's similar. It's just like the African Bigfoot.
Yes, I suppose African Bigfoot. The reason why I think this is more interesting, though, is because these people that are within this tribe have absolutely no access to internet, to anything from the outside world, apart from these few I suppose, what would you call them? Zoologists that have gone into the area trying to find it. They have, simply because they had heard about the story from the tribe. So, yeah, so all these villages have the same story, same depiction, and then when they are shown photos of, like, say, Diplodocus, so Makumembe is supposed to be a sauropod of some sort, and so when they're shown photos of that, they're like, yeah, that's that. No, we know that. So yeah, it's not like sightings of Bigfoot where people that are putting on hoax have an incentive.
So does it look different to a Bigfoot?
A sauropod.
I don't know what a sauropod is. I haven't been doing research on dinosaurs, bro.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know what a sauropod is. I'm guessing it's like something with a saw on its tail.
No. Long tail. So first of all,
is it like a Bronchosaurus?
Yes.
The really, really tall.
Yes.
Like the biggest dinosaur of all time. Almost.
Yes. So long neck, long tail.
But it's not as big as a Bronchosaurus, because we would have seen one by now. If it was
yeah. There's many different types of sauropods. Some ranging in around the size of a giraffe, big, but not like.
I still feel like
towering.
There was some. So you're saying that the Michael Membe, the flute player from Brazil, he's as tall as a giraffe.
Yeah,
and no one has seen one. There's no proof that he's out there.
There's no.
But people still think that it is out there.
Yeah, well, this is.
I know Congo's huge, but holy man, surely someone would have seen it.
No, not necessarily. So we're talking like, the size of Congo is unfathomable.
Well, you could probably say it's as big as America. I don't know. I don't know what the size is, but it must be something you can compare it to.
I actually don't know. I will have all this information when we do.
You better have this information next time, because I'm going to be asking you questions.
Yeah, I'm for it. Okay, there we go. I'm for it. I'm for it.
I'm against it.
I think Michael Member's out there.
I'm against it.
And I am going to come up with...
I'm not totally against it. I just need some convincible...
You need some convincible...
Is that even a word?
I don't know. I feel like we are making up a lot of words.
Convincible.
So convincible?
Convincible. It's like... I want to be convinced.
Right. So
convincible was my new word.
We're getting completely off...
Are we even recording?
Off topic? Yeah, we're recording. I think so. I hope so. I really hope so. I'll just double check that. Yep.
So we are going to talk... Do you know what I really love, bro?
Yeah, what?
I love looking up at the sky on a nice clear night.
Yeah.
And I love just staring at the moon.
It's pretty majestic.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
It is amazing. Especially on so I live in the country, and you know not a lot of light pollution. It's just so
You got
cool.
a telescope yet?
No, I haven't.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. I do need. I really should get one, eh?
You really should, because you've got the perfect spot. And you're up pretty high too where you are, eh?
Yep.
That little inch closer, you know?
You know what is bullshit? I went in, I had to resit my gun licence.
Yeah.
And I went into town, New Plymouth, to do that. And where you go...
Oh, you do have a gun licence?
Well, I did. It's expired. So I had to reset it. I passed and everything, so I'm just waiting for it to...
For some reason I sort of thought you wouldn't have had one, but that's fine.
No, I do. Anywho, so in town in New Plymouth, where there's lights everywhere, it's a city, there sits the observatory. Like,
good point.
Taranaki's got so much farmland. Why do we have an observatory in the middle of the city?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that was the spot for it.
No.
Back in the day, it was obviously. How old is it? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I can't believe it'd be too old.
I don't think it'd be too old. It's just I just cannot.
That's a good point. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah.
I've been up there so many times.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
What do you mean you've been up to the observatory?
No, I've been up there around it. On the hill. Yeah. What is it? Marsland Hill, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a dumb spot, man.
Yeah.
Dumb spot.
Yeah, it is.
Bloody cut some shit up to Paratuta Rock would even be a bit... I don't know, it's probably a little bit unfeasible.
Paratuta Rock? Just to go look at some stars, you'd have to climb up that mountain?
Well, yeah, but like to get the best views, you need to be away from light pollution. Yeah. It's like over in Hawaii, they have the world famous observatory in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
How high is it? I know it's pretty high.
I don't know. You go right through the clouds, man.
Must be pretty high.
Yeah, it is incredibly high. I can't remember what it is called, but that's the thing. To get a great view, to get your best images, you have to push yourself a little bit. Go out of your comfort zone.
No shit.
Go to the highest spots. Yeah, go to the highest spots.
The light pollution.
Don't just dump an observatory in the middle of a city.
Yeah, but maybe they weren't. Maybe they didn't think about it too much. Maybe there was like still candlelight. Back when they put it up.
That's not that old.
No, I know. I was just trying to.
Nah.
I was trying to be pro council. I'm guessing it was the council that did it.
I can imagine so.
I don't know. But anyway, it is a bad position, and maybe they should think about putting a new one up.
You ain't gonna...
I'd be all for it.
Yeah, I'd be all for it.
As long as it was a big one that could cater a lot of people, and there's like significant astronomical.
Yeah, or
astronomical. Astronomical events in the sky.
Yes,
because that would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. It'd have to be out of the city. There's well,
like you say, there's plenty of farmland it could go to, and I think out your way would be a good spot.
Out my way would be fantastic because we are high as well.
You are.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. If there's any Taranaki Council members listening to this podcast, hit me up. Hit me up. So anyway, my name is Curtis. This is Cody. We're not too sure what our podcast is going to be called yet. I'm thinking maybe Curtis Cody Conspiracies.
Nah. Too many conspiracy podcasts.
Well, it's not really even conspiracies, is it? It's just concepts.
I've been thinking of names, but I haven't really put my finger on one yet. I think I still had the coin involved in it, but obviously we're not going to try and do that.
Curtis Cody coin flip.
I was thinking something like that.
Something if we can incorporate Triple C.
Triple C.
Triple C. Triple C.
I like that.
Curtis Cody coin flip. The flip, the F on the flip is silent.
PH. Philip.
that wasn't where I was going with that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Next cast. Podcast, cast, whatever. Just cast. Yeah. Next cast we'll have our name sorted out, so you know where to find us.
That sounds good. Yeah. But anyway, we are talking moon landing.
Moon landing.
Did it happen? Or did it not?
So prior to filming this episode, Cody and I decided one of us needs to be for and one of us needs to be against, and we would go and research and see what we come up with. Mine was for. Oh no, against. Yes. I was definitely against. I thought, well, I've always kind of had the notion that the moon landing was fake. And so I was like, cool, I'm going to jump on in and I'm going to prove that it was false.
To the best of our knowledge.
To the best of our knowledge.
Which isn't a lot.
Which is not,
by the way.
Not a lot considering I started research. The more I looked into it, the more I found supporting the moon landing. But I found that quite interesting as well. So I was doing most of my research on Google, and I found it very difficult to find anything that was negative about it, about the moon landing. So that kind of makes me think, what was up with that? Why? You know, out of all the information that has been put out about it, all the conspiracy theorists out there that would have posted stuff about the moon landing being fake or whatnot, why was I just initially getting pages and pages of stuff supporting it? I found that quite interesting. I also did notice, see, this is a conspiracy on its own as well. I also did notice that a lot of the stuff that was debunking conspiracy theorists, conspiracy theories surrounding it, saying that this does not prove that that the moon landing was fake, because so on. I found that was also kind of a little bit up in the air. So say for example, if you Google is the moon landing fake or real, the first thing that popped up is a article from The Guardian. So you know that's a big publication. Seems to be that, you know, within the mainstream media, this was a well-trusted publication. One of the theories surrounding the moon landing was the waving flag. So there's this
straight at it.
Straight into it.
Okay.
Waving flag.
Yeah,
straight into it.
All right.
I'm going with this.
I didn't know where you were going with the whole Guardian thing.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really know where I was going either.
I was sort of waiting for the end of your speech. Yeah, keep going.
I knew I wanted to get to the waving flag. I was just trying to take.
So Curtis is for anyway. Oh no, he's
I'm against.
He's against.
I think I do think, and I still think I still think the moon landing was fake. I just have not found anything that I feel is definitive proof.
Yeah, and I'm for. the moon landing.
And
to be fair, I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure where I was with the whole situation. But after doing a little bit of research, just a little bit, I'm actually a lot for it now. So the more I researched, the more I became, a believer that it actually did happen. So we'll go back to where we were just a minute ago, and that was
the waving flag.
We're going straight onto the waving flag.
Yeah, straight onto the waving flag.
No history about the moon. Just going straight to the waving flags.
Who wants to know the history about the moon?
I'll bring that up soon.
You bring that up.
It does justify where I'm at.
Okay.
We'll go with the waving flags.
I'll go straight to the waving flag.
What conspiracy theorists love to talk about, and it's waving flags.
The waving flags. So I found this really interesting because I thought it was quite narrow-minded almost. So the waving flag theory. There's this famous image of Buzz Aldrin standing there saluting the flag that appears to be waving. It's crumpled up, on a still image. It looks to be waving, and this journalist has written that this does not prove that. And of course, obviously, that's a theory because on the moon that there's no atmosphere and no wind. So how is a flag waving?
We're in a vacuum.
Yeah, and what the journalist had reported was saying, if you look closely at the image, you will see that on the top of the flag, you can see like a straight, narrow, sort of like pole that's holding the flag outright, and the flag appears to be waving because it is actually crumpled up, and it's not waving; it's just sitting there, but it's standing outright because of the pole that is holding the flag outright. That was so NASA, when they planned for the moon landing, they're like, look, we have, this is America, man. We got to get an amazing footage to promote America, and what better than that is a flag?
Yeah,
and then
sense.
Some NASA geek was like, but the flag's not going to wave because there's nothing up there.
Exactly. It'll
just be like boom, and that's
not a flag stand that has an upside down L. And that's basically what.
Exactly, and that's basically what it was. But I have seen video footage, because there's lots of video footage of there. We all know the one, Buzz Aldrin fucking hopping along.
I've seen it all.
Out there. I've seen video footage of the flag waving. So that this spans that theory that this journalist is like, it looks to be waving just because
that's true, but that's totally being debunked as well. Because what it is, when it's waving, if you've seen the footage, the only waving time when you see it is when Buzz Aldrin is holding it and he's moving it. When his arm's moving, it's moving the flag, and that's the waving that you get. As soon as he lets it go and walks away, it stays still. I think it moves for like a little bit and then just stops. It's only when he's moving the flag stand.
Have you watched that recently?
I have. About 3,000 times. Fuck. But that's, who knows? Who knows? I'm still. I
was fairly sure I had seen images of it waving with him not.
Maybe. But what I've seen and what I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah.
And it's been debunked. But hey, man, I haven't seen all of it. I've only seen bits and pieces.
Yeah. Okay.
But apparently that has definitely been debunked. The flag waving. What's next?
I'm still on this. Okay. Righto. Damn it! That was my one big smoking gun.
You started with it.
I started with it. Why did I start with it?
It was your big smoking gun. You wait till the end.
Alright.
But that's fine.
Shadows.
The shadows with the
No, hold on. But before, I need to. We'll keep going about with your history. You wanted to talk about some history with the moon.
Well, I just wanted to say how it all sort of began and why Americans and the Soviet Union went head to head. It all started after World War II, really.
Yeah, sweet as. After the Cold War.
Yeah, it was all about rockets. It was about rockets and creating big, long-range ballistic missiles. Because obviously whoever had that, that technology would pretty much conquer in a war. And that's kind of where it came from. And there was the German Werner von Braun.
Warner.
Warner?
I don't know. I thought it was Warner.
Warner. We're not good at like name languages, so
don't cancel us for
don't cancel us for mispronunciations. But
he was a Nazi, so fuck him.
He was, but he was ahead of something in Germany, I guess rockets, and he was pretty onto it, dude. And then by the end of the war, we're just going to go through this quickly because I can't really remember too much, but at the end of the war, he gave himself up to America because he thought that he could go to America and be useful. And he thought that he could definitely get in there because otherwise he'd go to Russia and the Americans wouldn't like that because he knew so much about rockets. And he knew that it'd be valuable. So he ended up going to America, New Mexico, I believe, somewhere down there anyway. And he started, they put him in charge of ballistic missiles again. And he started making like medium range ones. And then something happened. I think he was getting a bit bored of it. And he wanted to start creating rockets that would take man to, to the other worlds, into space. And I think at the time, the army or one of the military and all that, they weren't that keen on it. So he went to the public. And the way to do that was who's one of the biggest TV, networks or whatever it is in America at the time was Disney. So he went to Disney. And they did a little documentary or something on space and about what he's planning on doing and what he thinks that mankind can achieve. And they said, yeah, man, it's like, apparently the public loved it. They loved his idea. They're like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's go do it. And so to the point where I think the president, and all that all started getting in on it and they were keen. But I think before that, I think then that's when they started doing the whole rockets for space and stuff. And at the same time, in Russia, in the Soviet Union, there was another guy, Sergei Kolotov or something like that. He was another guy that was in on rockets, and he was creating rockets over there. And he was a part of the World War II and all that as well. I can't remember what he had done, but he was very much the Werner von Braun of Russia. So they've both got these two guys that are creating rockets, and they both love the idea. He heard about Werner von Braun's idea, and Russia heard about that, and they thought, man, if we can create this rocket that shoots to space, man, we can create the best rockets in the world, and obviously be the leaders of that technology and wars, and obviously we can conquer anything. So that's what started the whole, the space race between the Russians and America.
And Russia was definitely winning the space race.
Man, they achieved so much. They were the first to put the satellite in orbit, which was Sputnik. They were the first to put a dog into space. It did die 5 hours later though of heat temperatures and shit. Poor fella. It was a girl actually, but I found out it wasn't much they picked off the road. I can't remember the name. It had a really cool name. I can't remember the name now. But it was
It's right.
I felt sorry for the dog though, but hey, better than a human, I suppose. Please don't cancel me for saying that. But anyway,
did Russia also put a chimp in there, or was that America who ended up doing the chimp?
The chimp, I actually heard it.
It was a chimp.
I heard something about that not long ago, like a couple of days ago, and I can't remember if it was Russia or America. I'm thinking it was America, because Russia, once again, they were the first to put 2 dogs in orbit and come back to survive.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
So I'm thinking it was the Americans that put a chimp into space.
Right. They're like,
called Aldo or something, I don't know. They did a lot. They were the first. Russians were also the first people to take a picture of the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, they did. They also landed a pod on the moon as well, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if it was the first one.
It was definitely before America.
Oh yeah.
So basically, so this is what really gets me about this whole thing. Russia was smashing it. America was so far behind.
You got to remember, Russia was smashing it back in 1958, 59, 50,
Yeah.
the 60s, the early 60s, late 50s, right?
Yeah, and then
this is before the Americans gave a lot of money to NASA, before NASA was even created. I think NASA was created in 1958 or 62. That's it must be 58, 59. I think NASA was created, and the government didn't give them a lot of money at that time. They weren't getting much money at all.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. I mean, I think financially, it was very similar at that time.
Yeah.
Between Russia and America, so there was no real, it was very similar, and I think Russia were killing it. I'm not sure why they were killing it, but they just were.
Yeah.
Yeah, well... Yeah. But by the time that the Americans actually went to the moon, in 1969, and landed on the moon...
reportedly.
At that time, by that stage, the government was giving NASA 4 to 5% of the total earnings that year, of their money, which is the equivalent of 43 billion of what we...
it was at least today, $40 billion.
Of what the money is today. Yeah. That's how much money they would get, is the equivalent of what we get today. That's how much money they were getting back then, where Russia was only getting 4 billion. So there's a huge difference, and that's probably why America ended up taking over and landing people on the moon before Russia, because they had the money and they had the resources because of that money.
Yeah, that does help. Now, so that was back then. They did that. So I also think it's also important to sort of think about the American psyche when it comes into this. They wanted to win this race.
Well, both did.
They both did. Yeah. So this is obviously just hearsay, speculation, or whatnot. I've been watching Amber Heard try to tip trial. Oh my god! Hearsay, speculation in my head. Objection. Anywho, so. But I should have been researching this.
And Michael Bublé's in Brazil.
Yeah. Michael Bubé.
Oh, it's close.
Michael Bubé. The Brazilian
Congo.
Yeah, Congo. Yeah, Congo. So they wanted to win it. It was a power play for them. They needed to show the American people that we were on top, and they were willing to do it. Now, people were saying, well, look, there are 4,000 people working for NASA that were involved in this moon landing. So they all seen the rocket go up in the sky. They're up there, did their thing. They came back down. Sorry. We've got images of them on the moon. Yeah. And that's it. So
keep going. It just seems like you're trying to come up with something.
I'm trying to cut. I am, and I'm getting there. So all the people, these 4,000 people working for it, they're all a part of it. How can you fake that? Buzz Aldrin went on the Conan O'Brien show, I can't remember what year it was, and Conan started off by saying, look, I remember back then, and my parents waking me up to watch you guys land, and it was just this amazing occasion that everyone all around the world watch you guys land on the moon. And Buzz Aldrin was like, no you didn't. That was animation. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what he was on about, but I actually haven't seen that one.
Yeah, well, so apparently the images of them in the craft and everything coming out and stuff, it was animation. It was animated. It was animated because they
like a cartoon. When did it stop?
Right, it stopped. I think when we were on about I was talking about the animation. So, so basically, sorry if you're slightly confused as to what just happened. For some reason, our camera only runs for roughly 30 minutes, and then it cuts out due to overheating or whatnot, just to preserve life. So, we will... Yeah, we got a cut from there. I believe I was talking about Buzz Aldrin's interview with Conan O'Brien, and he was discussing the animation. Now, people say, look, this isn't him admitting that it was fake and it was all animated. It was just simply him explaining that they didn't really have the technology to photograph those particular scenes as they're in the Lunar, whatever the hell it was, Lunar module.
Eagle.
Like they didn't have the technology to photograph that go down to the moon and whatnot.
Okay.
Now,
so who was saying that? Buzz was saying.
Buzz Aldrin said that. Now, I find this interesting.
I find that real interesting.
I find this interesting.
He released a book 2 years ago with photos and everything in it, and like a whole book about him saying this stuff happened.
Yeah.
When did the Conan O'Brien interview happen?
You can look it up on YouTube. It looks like relatively old footage, so it's like it would have been years ago. So, but anyway, I think this is important because it leaves a loophole, a space for manipulation. So, say for example, if now, of course, this is just speculation here, but hearsay.
Well, what I want to know though, before we carry on, is the animation part of it. What does he mean by animation?
So
to me, back then, like animation was probably it wasn't probably too bad because you had Disney doing cartoons and stuff. But animation to me, like, was it just the pictures inside of the lunar capsule, everything? I think it was. I found it hard to follow exactly what he was talking about. I think it's more the so you've got your spacecraft, right, and then you've got the little pod, the little orbital pod, module, that comes out of there and goes down to the moon. I believe there's footage of that happening. Okay.
Right now, I think that is what is animated.
So there's footage on the lunar module, right? They put a camera on one of the arms of the lunar module. So there's probably footage of the module hitting the moon from the camera on. Yeah, and
I think all that shit was animated too.
Oh yeah.
So I think that is what's animated. Now if like as an amateur filmmaker and whatnot, that is a clear splice loop. Like it's an area where you could. You've got this this image of these astronauts in a legitimate rocket flying through space, and then cut into animation, and then cut into these astronauts popping out onto the moon. Which, if the American government did really want to fake it, that could be just simply a cut of them jumping out into some movie set.
It's just it's great animation if that's the case, because man, it looks exactly like the same stuff when they actually walking out on the moon. Like, I mean, I'll give it to the animators if that's the case.
Yeah,
they did a great job.
You're right, but I mean, I don't know. This is the astronaut who did it saying that was.
I've also heard Buzz Aldrin talking to a little girl. There was a little girl came up to him. I don't know if you've heard this one.
Yeah.
And she said, I can't remember what she said, and this is going to come out completely wrong now that I'm thinking about it. But he said something in the way of, it's because it never happened, or something like that, to the girl. And I can't remember what the question was now, and I'm gutted I can't remember because that was actually something I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
And the way that he tried to, he said something he kind of shouldn't have, and then he backplayed it, and then he sort of realised he said it, and then tried to fix it.
He actually says...
What did he say?
He actually says the words, and I quote, when he was speaking to Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
When O'Brien was like, well, was that animated? Blah, 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 blah. And Aldrin was like, yeah, it was the world's greatest lie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what all this means.
No,
I don't. I just find it very interesting.
I haven't seen that, so I'm actually I didn't see that.
I do find that very interesting, and as well, do you know much about Buzz Aldrin?
Not a lot.
Okay.
In what way?
Oh no, I mean I don't, but I feel like it's either him or the other astronaut
Michael Collins,
who was kind of shunned a bit. Shunned from
well, it was probably Michael Collins because he never got to actually land on the moon. He had to take control of the orbital module.
Yeah. Was he the one that died suspiciously?
No. I think he's still alive.
Is he?
I saw a 2020 thing on him not long ago.
Okay.
He might be dead now. I actually don't know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
But, he was kind of like the one that was left behind because he didn't land on the moon.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the most important ones because if it wasn't for him,
they wouldn't have been able to get back. No. Yeah.
And he saw a lot of things that they didn't see because he was orbiting the moon the whole time. So I think he was up there. He took his notes on the geology and all that of the moon, and he was just as important as those other guys. It's funny, like Neil Armstrong to me was the quiet one. He didn't really do a lot after he got back. It seemed, There wasn't really a lot of interviews with him and stuff, which was kind of a bit weird.
Which was weird.
Not that I've seen them. There might maybe heaps, but I couldn't find a lot. Buzz Aldrin, on the other hand, was more of the outgoing one. Yeah, is what I sort of
he was
got from him.
Yeah, he definitely seemed like a character. Yeah,
but the thing is, so that's kind of where I'm at with that anyway. I was going to go on and say that there was 24 other astronauts that had been up and through space as well, through the Van Allen belt, but
they've also apparent. This was just brief as I was driving here. They said that they've also been there and back several other times after that to collect.
Yeah, they've been to the moon. I think it was four more times.
So they've been to the moon 4 times.
After that, well, there's footage of it. Yeah, and there's photos and stuff. I think the second time they went up, there was some they showed them land on the moon and stuff, but then there was some issues or something, and then they just went back to normal broadcasting, just normal shows. So it was kind of like they'd been to the moon once. The second time, everyone was like, "Yeah, cool," and then they just sort of gave up on it. No one really cared that much.
Yeah. What about Russia? Well, I wonder why they've never.
Well, I think because Sergei died. I think it was like the mid-60s. Yeah. And because it was because what Russia was, they didn't announce any of their space missions until after they had done it. So, I mean, how many did they do and they didn't succeed with them? There could have been heaps that they failed with and no one knew about it. Yeah. And I think after he died and I don't think they had their mind set on it anymore. I don't know. I actually really don't know why they didn't keep going. Yeah. They obviously did keep going because they've done more. They still go up into space and all that. Yeah.
All right.
But it's like with NASA, I kind of wondered why they didn't go up again.
Yeah.
And I think what they did, I think it was in the 70s, mid-70s, 80s, they started trying to create a shuttle that they could take up into space and then bring back. So they didn't have to spend billions of dollars on one space, one space effort. Yeah. And I think that's where they were at. And I don't think they succeeded with that, And I think money became a big problem. Yeah. And that's why they haven't been back, because it's just so expensive to send a rocket and a space shuttle and everything up into space. Yeah. And because they've been to the moon, how much stuff can you get from the moon? I guess it's just rocks. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think the big thing was trying to find a few where you could populate it.
Yeah. And I know, I've been looking up a few things now. They're actually, NASA are looking at putting some more things on the moon. They're thinking of making little civilization up there.
Yeah.
Well, civilization, but they're looking at building some things on the moon.
Yeah.
As well as possibly just in our orbital in the Earth's, what do you call it? The
ionosphere.
Yeah, up there somewhere where the satellites are. They want to start building like little buildings that you can go up there and and visit and
Well, that'd be kind of neat, wouldn't it? Like that's what like Elon Musk and bloody
he's
Amazon
doing it too,
are doing.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Like Mars will be cool.
Yeah,
if they can get someone to Mars, how cool would that be?
That would be. Yeah, that's a big trip though, isn't it?
But like I said, NASA's funded by the government.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why people like Elon Musk and that, it's probably better if they end up doing it. You know, the personal guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it just makes more sense. They got so much more money to just throw at it, you know.
Whereas
Whereas the government's got so many other things they have to put money towards.
Yeah,
you know, they can't really justify it.
It would be.
It must be harder in this day and age.
Yeah, it would be. Well, I don't know.
No, I didn't mean either. But
they seem to have trillions of dollars to chuck at other shit. But then I suppose then is it important to? Yeah, well, no, they do need to be exploring space and getting that technology really right because like they need a strong oh man, I hate to say this word, but Space Force. And I hate to say that because that was Trump's bloody.
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't they thinking about a Space Force?
Yeah, I know. I hate to sound like, I don't know. But
we've got an Air Force.
Yeah, well, I know, yeah. But I just hate to sound like I'm on the side, but I do agree with that though, because because I do think it is true that the country that conquers space first and is really in a strong, powerful position because you know you've got satellites like everyone's worried about bloody nukes and shit like that. You got satellites up there that can just shoot laser beams, you know, wherever they want, whenever they want. That can't.
Wait. We got satellites up there that shoot laser beams.
Well, that's what that's what they want. That was like, well, shit.
I can see how it would be possible.
If
they've got them up there now, that's scary.
I feel like there's something up there.
I think Elon Musk just wants communication for the whole world, not laser beams.
Yeah, but that's Elon Musk. He's not a dictator.
That is true.
Yeah, you got bloody Putin. Not pudding. Putin. I'm making him sound like something you eat. You got him up there with bloody high power lasers and shit. But then to be fair though, they've got missiles that can be shot and hit
exactly
within seconds, and there's nothing you can do about it. So
seems like more of an effort.
Probably is. So I don't know, maybe Space Force isn't necessary.
But I don't know, man. Like I think space is free for anyone to. I don't think anyone owns space. No one owns space. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But I think that if somebody was to, you know, start freely moving from Earth to space a lot of the time, certain nation, it would become a priority. You know, like they would end up ruling that space. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, like when you look at all of the
which is quite scary.
Well, yeah, but like pressure, like there's asteroids up there that are made of diamonds. You know, if someone can figure out how to mine that shit, then I mean, it's a lot of money in it. A lot of money in it. So you know, money helps.
Be cool having a diamond earring from an asteroid.
From an asteroid, that would be awesome. I heard you can get buy a brand of watch that the back of it is made
Moon rock.
Yeah.
I've heard about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
cool. I want one.
Yeah.
But I mean, how are you going to know?
Yeah, is it actual moon rock?
That's the thing.
Or was it like moon rocks you eat? You remember those ones you can get from the...
Oh yeah, that pop in your mouth.
Yeah.
That cool.
The moon rocks
They were
too.
exciting. It was a party in your mouth and everyone was invited.
And it was moon rocks.
Yeah.
Like yellow moon rocks.
Yeah. It wasn't actual moon rocks though.
No,
Not
we don't
from the
know
moon. I suppose we don't know.
We don't.
But I'm assuming it wasn't.
But so where were we? So have you finished with your debunking?
No, well, I mean, I'm still on with the shadows as well.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced about that. You know.
So what do you think about the shadows?
With the shadows, how there's images. Say, for example, you've got a rock there, a rock there, and a rock there. The light source is coming from up there.
So there should only be one light source.
Yep, one light source. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Now, you can actually see it in this. There has been one of the debunkings of this is that if you look at things in a particular way, it is justifiable that one shadow faces that way and one shadow faces that way. From where I'm sitting, the shadow from here, there's only one light source coming from up there.
Well,
there's actually
not really.
No, you're right. But these shadows I can imagine coming from there because those. Hold on. Yeah. Those shadows are coming from up over there. And this one here is facing slanting slightly to that way, and this one here is slanting slightly to that way, giving that optical illusion of which you see in the images, right? But I've seen images where one shadow is facing that way, and all of a sudden there's a rock over here with a shadow facing that way. The fuck, man?
I haven't seen that one, I must say, but I've heard about that one as well.
It's like... Oh, yeah.
They're saying that the shadows should be all parallel with each other because of the sun facing down on it.
Yeah, no, they don't have to necessarily be parallel.
But they have to be in that one direction.
Yeah, people think it should be going within that one direction. That makes sense.
Well, it does make sense when you look at it like that.
Because of different angles and whatever, slight optical illusions. So say that there has a very different shape than that, given off a different, making the shadow from here slant slightly to the right, and this one's slanting slightly to the left. Like I can see that. You're right. I can get on board with that. But for one rock to be here, this shadow facing that way, and then on this rock, if the shadow is facing that way, they're in the two complete opposite directions. That to me, and there is an image out there that shows this from the moon landing. That to me, one I've seen as well of the flag. If you look at the Buzz Aldrin photo, which is a very famous photo, the image from the flag is facing that way, and there is what was it? Something of the lunar rover or whatever, and a shadow facing in the opposite direction. It's that thing. That to me tells me that there's
another light source coming.
Different light sources. And it's like, I mean, I don't know.
So I'm not a photographer or anything.
I haven't seen anything that debunks that.
Yeah, I have seen it.
It's all
and I watched an episode of MythBusters, and they actually debunk pretty much all the myths.
They
actually recreated it in a studio. They recreated that scene in a studio with one source of light.
With one source of light,
they created the whole rocks, and pretty much they tried to make they had the picture in front of them, and they recreated it, and they even had like a lunar module as well. I think they even had an astronaut, man. Like, they went hard out, and it looked really cool. And they just recreated it in a studio, and which people apparently are debunking them because they're like, "You did it in a studio. See, it is possible." But you know,
but they did it specifically with one
lighted source. They took a photo of it, and they realised that the lines were going in different places. They even covered the table that they were using with it's like as close as the moon surface you can get. I can't remember what they used. Some type of gravel type stuff that's quite white and shiny, because what they reckon the moon's made of is real shiny as well. So the light hits the surface and actually rebounds off, creating different light sources from the actual moon. So they reckon that the way that the shadows are is just because it's so bright up there with the sun hitting the surface of the moon that it's creating different light sources as well. And they took the photo and it pretty much looked almost like the photo.
With shadows going one to the left and one to the right, because the ones that
I don't remember seeing that one.
Because the ones that I have seen, they're saying, look, they're not completely parallel. Say for example, my arm is a shadow going that way, and this arm is a shadow that's parallel, and this right shadow slants slightly to there, and that's the big thing where the conspiracies where the debunkers are saying, look, that can be debunked because we've done this, and shadows can come from the same light source but be slightly slanted, not parallel. But what I'm talking about is one shadow facing that way and one shadow facing the complete opposite way.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen that one.
Was that in Mythbusters? Did they?
I don't recall it being that one. Because it may have been, because I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they did a couple of photos, actually. They did do a couple.
I find it hard to believe that someone has debunked that, because that's such a contrast. Like for an image,
I believe you, because that is hard.
That's such a contrast, and I can't wrap my head around.
You'd have to experiment with a couple of lights
from
or a single light.
Yeah,
but it is. Light does funny things.
Yeah, I've been told that Mythbusters one was like the best debunker.
Well, it was.
Now, if they are able, if what they set up in the studio had two complete opposite shadows facing different areas, different directions, one left, one right, from the one light source, then I can get on board with that. But until I see that, I can't justify that. I don't think that's possible without a second light source.
I don't know. You got me thinking though. But so that was one of them anyway.
Yeah.
Was there any other funny light ones? There wasn't. That was kind of
the
main one. What about the footprint in the dust on the surface? You heard that one?
No, I haven't heard that one. What's that one?
So, conspiracy theorists think that there was footprints left on the surface of the moon, like real pronounced footprints of their space shoes.
There wasn't there?
Yeah, there was, but they reckon that there's no way, because for it to be able to get that much of a footprint in it, there must be moisture on the moon. But there's no moisture on the moon.
Okay.
And, they're in a complete vacuum. They were wondering why,
Okay, so there shouldn't, in theory,
there shouldn't have been any
dust. So there shouldn't even be space dust.
I guess, yeah. But that's what they reckon. And, because you put you wear boots on sand, right?
Yeah.
You barely get any footprints, but you do it on wet sand, footprints.
Yeah. Okay.
That's their theory anyway.
Wet sand.
Yeah, you wear boots in wet sand.
Okay. Really?
I thought. Have you ever worn shoes in wet sand? Like by the beach?
Nah. I go.
What about bare feet?
Bare
footprints. Yeah, you can usually see your feet in the sand.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, right. Okay.
But not in the dry sand.
In the dry sand, it's just a mark. It's just a mark. Yeah, right. And okay. I see that. So what do you think about that then?
Well, I watched MythBusters again, and they went to NASA.
Yeah.
And that's right. I got a shirt just for this podcast. And
I love the commitment, by the way.
Thanks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got something right.
Yeah.
Anyway, they went to NASA and they've got like a big vacuum chamber.
Mm.
And I think you can put your arms in it.
Right.
And they had a boot and they squashed it down into some sand, into that space gravel moon stuff that they got close to the moon stuff. And it created a vacuum. It created a footprint. So that was kind of debunked.
Oh.
Yeah. But that was, so you don't got any others?
It was easily debunked.
It was easily debunked.
I once I got into that shadow rabbit hole, I couldn't get past that. I just I just looked up that, tried to find as many images of that as I possibly could.
What about the Van Allen belt? How they reckon they're like
with the radiation?
Yeah, there's no way that they could have gone through the radiation. Know anything about that?
Yeah, I do. So that's something. So the theory that supports that you possibly could do that is
Oh, here we go. You creating something again?
No. I'm just looking at the shadow.
Oh, goodness.
I can't get over the shadows, guys.
You're not going to be able to recreate it with all this light going on, bro.
Okay. So no. So the Van Allen belt, the theory that I found proving that you can do it. This scientist was just like, well, look, it's as simple as firewalking. You walk over hot coals slowly. The heat is able to penetrate and burn you. If you walk over it quickly, the heat has no time to penetrate, and you're sweet. I mean this was for me too much of a simplification, because I think radiation is much different than hot coals and the type of energy waves that applies from heat. That's bloody passes through you. I don't necessarily know that if you move through radiation at a quicker pace that it's not going to do anything to you. I don't actually know as to what levels of radiation come from the Van Allen belt. I'm guessing it's very high, considering it's talked about and whatnot. So,
well, they reckon that it's the amount of time they spent going through it, or in the time spent in it, in the big radiation part of the Van Allen belt. They reckon it's an equivalent to getting a CT scan.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, that was kind of debunked. Also, they all wore meters as they went through, and they
were all wearing what?
Like radiation meters. I can't remember what they were called, but yeah.
Are there suits lined with lead as well to help with?
I believe lead. Nah, apparently the space craft that they were in when they went through it was only aluminium, because if they had made it out of lead, aluminium.
I think New Zealanders say aluminum.
I think it's the same thing.
Aluminum.
But anyway,
it's the same thing. So I say aluminum.
And I believe, where was I going with it? Yeah, if they had done lead, they wouldn't have been able to. It would have been too heavy.
Yeah, righto. Okay.
So I don't believe there was lead in their suit. Maybe there was, because suits obviously aren't a spacecraft. But
I love how they're just like, okay, guys, look, nobody's ever done this before. So what we're going to do, we're going to put meters on you that's going to read how much radiation you take in as you were passing through it. Now, me, if I was the astronaut, I'd be like, okay, so what are we going to do if the radiation gets too high? I don't know, you're already passing through it, we can't turn around.
And there must have some balls,
That's it, man.
Ballsy,
That's
man.
Ballsy.
That's a gangster move, though.
That is a gangster move.
Radiation.
I know.
You know.
For me,
It gets me.
You see, I want it to be real because I love how ballsy these dudes were.
Bro.
Like that is something, man. Like that's balls. Sorry, we just had another cutout. We're talking about.
Oh shit! Did we?
Yeah.
You could have reminded me.
Yeah. Well, did you not see me like stand up and go to the?
Yeah, I thought you were
camera?
just getting some exercise.
No. Yeah, man. We're discussing. We're just talking about the Van Allen bout and how bloody ballsy those 3 astronauts were who passed through it.
Not those 3, but the 24 astronauts that went through the Van Allen belt.
All of them, yes. But
I think it was 24. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, I think it was 24. But the first 3, those first 3, they went in blind. They went in with their superiors saying, look, we don't know what's going to happen, so we're just going to strap these radiation readers on you. If it gets too high, well, we know for next time.
Oh man!
See, that is much more ballsy than the ones that came afterwards. that's incredible. And so, like as a human who loves courageous things, I do want that to be real. I do want that to be real, and I feel like there's just so many people that want that to be real. That there is always going to be a giant effort to keep that buzz that alive, because it's like, man, if all of a sudden it came out now that the moon landing actually was fake, I mean, geez, man, that's a kick in the guts for Americans.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's where I get back to. I struggled very hard to find anything that went against the moon landing on Google.
And the reason I reckon is because a lot of it's quite easy to debunk, and I know NASA has actually debunked a lot of their stuff too. They've got their own, you know, if somebody says something, they've got their own scientific reason of why that happens. And I think science is quite important in this.
Yep.
And yeah, from what I've seen, like I don't know nothing. I know nothing really. I'm just going off what other people have said in scientific research that I've seen online, but. I believe it happened, and I think that if they were to stage it, it would have been such an effort that it was almost easier to actually just go to the moon than to stage this whole moon landing. It would have been easier. At the time in 1969, it would have been easier to just go to the moon than to stage it. To get everything as right as they possibly can, that you see on that, on that video that you see, it would have been hard. But that's just from what I've seen.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. But then one thing.
The other thing that the Stanley Kubrick thing.
What's that one?
You know about that one?
No.
The director from Space Odysseys 2001.
No.
They reckon that he was the guy that directed the space landing footage.
Okay.
In the studio.
Why?
He created that movie, Space Odyssey 2001.
2001.
Have you not seen that?
No.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's really good, but I was young and I sort of didn't really get it 100%. It's about a spaceship that takes over a guy in space, pretty much.
A spaceship that takes over a guy?
It's like an AI spaceship.
That doesn't sound like a...
It's a pretty good movie. Yeah, for its time.
For its time, yeah, okay.
And some of the animation that you see in it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to see that in your own time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they reckon that he had a few, you know, he might have been the director of the actual thing.
Yeah.
And I think there was even like apparently somebody said his wife said something about him coming out. Saying that he had directed it and stuff like that, but that's apparently that has not been justified. And, yeah, and apparently in I think it was 1999, there's footage that came out in 2015 of Stanley Kubrick actually saying it too. Yeah. But that's been debunked. Apparently, some guy just spliced up a few videos and put it together and made it sound like that he was the guy. That did it.
Right.
So, yeah. But I know that's another theory going out there is the Stanley Kubrick one.
Yeah. Okay. Like, to be fair, there's more evidence that it is real than it is not. The only one that for me, the two big smoking guns were is that shadow. I still believe in that. Show me some evidence that there can be one light source and a shadow facing that way and a shadow facing the complete
You would think that you would think though, if they were going to stage it, right?
Yeah.
The one thing they would get right would be the light source. You think that these scientists, these NASA guys, are going to go, look, we're going to film this, right?
Yeah.
And we're just going to have light source here, a light source here. Do you really think that they would be that stupid to put multiple light sources? I don't know. I just don't think that they would have been that stupid to do that.
I don't think they would have thought that much.
And also, do you think that they would also have a waving flag? They know that, that space is a vacuum. They know this.
Did they really know that then, though?
They must have, because they created a flag with an L shape on it. I mean, maybe they created an L shape because they knew that there was going to be no wind in the studio, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man.
I would so the image of Buzz Aldrin hopping along, though, I would like to see that be proven as to how
that's also on Mythbusters.
Well, no. See, for me, okay. I think that would have been hard to create in a studio.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm saying is...
Yeah, they actually did that on Mythbusters as well, and what they did is they dressed up with the suit on. I think they just started practicing what he was doing, like the way they did it, and the different ways that he was jumping around.
Yeah.
Because I think he did the normal just walking one, like that, and he found that quite hard, apparently, Buzz Aldrin did footage of him doing that. So he ended up doing this funny double hop.
Yeah.
And so they did that on Mythbusters too, and they did it just in a normal place and a man trying to do that. And then they did it with and they said that slow-mo was how they did it.
Okay.
Slow-mo, back in 1969, was so hard apparently to do because you've got to...
Slow-mo's hard to do now.
Yeah, 30 frames per second. Something to 30 frames per second and that sort of shit. Yeah. But I'm not going to delve into that because I know nothing about it. But it would have been so hard to do it back in 1969, and they reckon that was the only, so hard to recreate. And then they tried to do that, and they did it, and they slow-moed it with our technology we have now, which is way easier than it was back then. But they did it and it didn't look natural, the slow-mo motion that they did by slowing it down. Then they did it with an attached line, so that he was floating a little bit. They were taking a bit of the pressure off. And that still looked a little bit fake. You could still tell. And then what they did is they went into a jet. There's this jet that NASA uses that gives you
anti-gravity.
Yeah. So they went into this jet plane, and then it goes. What it does is it goes like this, and it creates. And so when it shoots, is it up or down? I think it must be down. It goes down.
When it goes down,
when it goes down, it creates what's that word that I'm looking for?
Anti-gravity.
Yeah, but there's another word, G-force.
G-force.
Yeah. So, and when they go into it, and they've got I don't know how long they've got in the state before it goes back up again.
Yeah.
But in that state, they did it again, and he was pretty much. That's what it's like on the moon. They can set it. They must go a certain speed, right?
Yeah.
And it recreates the same gravity that the moon has, and they did that. And it showed him doing the same. He had a minute or whatever it is to recreate the same footing, and he did it, and it looked natural as. It looked exactly like the video footage.
Okay.
So that was kind of debunked as well.
Yeah. Well, that's... Okay. I can get on board with it. I just want that shadow image to be
explained.
To be explained, because I'm not happy about that. There was
folks. He's not happy about it.
I'm not happy about that. There was the other. So now, if there's somebody out there that can write in explaining that to me, I would actually really appreciate it, because I'm not somebody who wants this to be fake. I don't want it to necessarily be real. I don't really I don't have I've got no skin in the game.
Well, who knows? It might be as easy.
Yeah,
it might be as easy as setting up a massive ass light, big ass light, and just playing around with a few things, and you may be surprised.
No. It defies logic.
No.
Okay.
I don't know much about angles and shadows. I mean, I know that a light will create shadow, right? And if it hits a couple of items, you're going to have the shadow behind it, right? I'm not sure what happens when you've got... I mean, as a Sparky, right? In a bathroom, you have a light.
Yeah.
You have white walls all around this bathroom, right?
Yes.
It creates way more light than you expect. You have black walls. You still just have that one light source that's not reflecting. You're not getting any reflection, no shadows anywhere. With white walls, you get the reflection of the light comes off everything. It bounces, it moves, it's waves. Light is waves, So to me,
yes, but
the lunar surface being so white. I mean, it's not white here, but up there it might be a different colour. But it's very reflective. We just have to look at the moon to know how reflective it is. So who knows? It might be really bright up there, and there might be all these things bouncing off different rocks and forms, creating different shadows.
But it's. In around there where they were, and you've seen it. There's for the way I feel that it should be. If this is wrong, it's wrong. But for a light, for something to create another light, because you're right. Reflective and whatnot. A light going this way, if it hits, say, a large wall that's white, it would bounce off there and possibly come back. So right, okay. So you've got a rock there, got a rock over there, a light source coming from here. If it hits a large,
you got to remember the moulds of rocks. It's not just flat land. It's moulds of rocks.
It was fairly.
Was it fairly flat? Oh,
yeah. That's also what I can't. There's no
craters or anything.
There's no big mountains. I mean, yes. Well, yeah. Look, there's craters.
Lots of craters.
There's craters, but on your flat surface, where they were, is a rock. Flat and a rock. One shadow going that way, one shadow going this way. You've got your light source coming through. If there was a downwards crater, it would hit there, and lights would be bouncing up around. For one source of light to create that shadow going that way and a shadow going that way, there would have to be a fucking brick, a big wall, a big flat wall right there that's white, reflective enough to hit there and just bounce back, directly back. It would have to come directly back.
How big are these rocks that you're getting the shadows from?
Oh, they're small. They're sorry.
That's my point. If you've got you might not need a big ass wall. You just might need a bigger rock that's bigger than those ones that's reflecting the light off it. That's all. You might just have a crater mold.
I don't. Okay, I don't think...
look, I don't know either. So I'm just coming up with some ideas that may be the debunking. I don't think it would. I don't think it would create that. It would have to be a bigger. What about?
And as well. Sorry, a flatter surface because the rocks rocks are like curved shapes. If a light source was coming up here,
they can be jagged.
But they're relatively more curved. They're not. They would have to be almost brick form, square, to hit there and bounce directly back.
Yeah, I know what
you know saying. What I mean.
Yeah.
And as well, they would have to be very close to that object. That like there would have to be one rock there and one rock almost directly behind it of the same size or larger to hit there, and for
I
that
wish we could bring up a few pictures in the background.
Yeah, I know.
We need a green screen behind us.
Yeah, we do. That would be great.
We could add them in later.
Yeah, because I
really want to know what you're looking at, and I feel like if I get my phone out and start looking at it now, it's kind of defeats the purpose of our talk.
You know.
Yeah. But anyway, so
I started to try to do that before, but I got no bloody internet here.
So I think what we come down to, Curtis is not convinced. He is not convinced because of the shadows.
No, it's the shadows.
Is that your number one thing?
That's my number one thing. The shadows. Everything else, I'm happy with. Yeah, your Van Allen bout. I mean, fucking pass through it.
What about
that's fine.
the numbers that you can see on some of the rocks and some of the photos?
I don't see that.
Numbers? What? Okay, so there's another conspiracy that people have seen photos of those pictures that you're talking about.
The moon landing's fake.
And there's a couple of numbers
on the rocks.
Apparently written on some of the rocks, and people are thinking that they're props. They're stage props.
What else are they?
So that's been debunked. I'm just bringing it up.
Really?
You're not bringing it up. So I'm just going to bring up all these conspiracies.
Numbers? Why are there numbers on rocks?
I'm getting to it. Okay? I'm getting to it. Hold your panties. But no, what it is they've actually gone back to the original pictures that were in one of the magazines that they created.
Yep.
That they chose a few pictures to put in a magazine. You can only put so many pictures in, and there is no number on the rock. So what they think's happened is, as people have developed them later on, maybe a hair or something got stuck in it, and it looks like a C. That's what they reckon's happened, and they've developed it with maybe a hair got on a negative, and they've developed it, and now there's a little line or a C or something on it. So that's been debunked.
So the original
photos doesn't have any numbers or letters on it at all, but there's a couple of other ones. I think there might be one or two. I'm not even sure.
Is it possible that somebody has gone back and photoshopped these originals to put it on?
Not back then.
No. But so,
are you talking about the original photos though in the magazine?
Yeah. So
probably 1969.
Yeah. Okay. No, because what you would need is to have have a hard copy of that image, right? And you could look at it in magazine form and be like, okay, clearly there's no photos there, there's no numbers there. But if somebody's taken that image and say, for example, I don't know how you've seen this, but if somebody has put this on internet form and they're showing, hey, look, this is the original photo. You cannot see.
Oh, they've photoshopped it out of the original.
They could have photoshopped it out of the original.
Yeah, I think they've actually got the actual magazine though. They've actually got it and they're looking at it there and then, and it's been debunked.
Okay, I can support that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah. But that was just another one that I saw, and I just because you haven't really hit me with many.
No, I haven't hit you with bugger all.
Yeah, so I'm just bringing them up. I'm glad I looked into it.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
Because it's interesting. This stuff's real interesting to me. Because
it is interesting, but I found it difficult to research it because.
I found all of them. I found lots of things.
Yeah, I was not looking in the right spots clearly because I more found opinion pieces and not hard facts. Not hard. This was what this was. Blah 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 blah. It was just all sort of opinion pieces.
You might have to download DuckDuckGo.
Yeah,
simple as that, man.
Yeah,
just Google away. They just know it's conspiracies.
Yeah, I know. They just
undercover.
Yep.
I think we're going to keep our opinions to ourselves. Yeah. This is how it was.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. No, I don't know. I just feel like that it's too hard to. I will say there's definitely more evidence supporting. Like I said, the more I looked into it, the more I support it, and I always wondered why haven't we been back. That was probably the number one question I've always thought.
Yeah.
Why haven't we been back? And I think it is just as easy as just to say it's money, man.
Yeah,
it really is just money, and
that I can get behind that too. That's fine.
I think it is, and I mean NASA are undergoing another mission. I can't remember what it was. You know how there was the Apollo mission and all that sort of thing. They've come up with a new name. I think it starts with A, but I looked it up anyway just to see if they were doing anything, and they are. They're looking at putting buildings into space around the moon.
It would be interesting to know how much they think it would cost to send somebody to the moon and back now. That would be interesting.
Doing it the same way they did it in 1969, which seemed like a great way.
No, not then. But like what with the technology that they have now available, how much do they think it would cost? Because I mean, like there's the old famous. You may have heard about this. We've got more technology in our cell phones than what they had in their computer systems, which sent those 3 men to the moon. So it's like if our technology has advanced so much now, I mean, would it even cost that much to send somebody there? I mean, I don't know.
That's a good point. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like it would at all. So, is money really a problem?
Maybe not.
For it. So
maybe not.
So if that's the case,
but that's what I mean. Like,
why haven't they done it?
Well,
like I want to know how much it would cost.
I think that what they're trying to plan next is what's happening now, right?
Yeah.
And I think by 2030 they wanted to do. They want to try and. I think they want to start moving things onto the moon so they can create buildings and stuff. I think they actually wanted to get a satellite closer to Mars. Was it? Man, I'm really lost where I was going with this, but they're trying to build little modules in space that they can add onto, and just take a couple up every time they go up, and then start building these big sort of like the space station type thing. The way the space station's built, they're trying to create these new modules, and they just want to put a whole lot of these places up in to orbit, which to me sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they don't want to clunk them all together either, because then we won't be able to enjoy space and stars and stuff, which is a good idea too. But they wanted to try and do an area by the moon and an area just a couple of areas up above that you can even travel to, just for like a holiday. Yeah. Which to me sounds cool. I'd be all for it if I could afford it. For sure, man. And I knew it was safe.
Why not?
How cool would that be?
It's got to be safe. That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
That'd be mind blowing.
Cool. That would be. Yeah.
Be like my dream, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Imagine like going to the moon before you've even gone to the South Island.
No, that could be me. I've never been to the South Island.
Yeah, how's that? I found that, so I went to the South Island in like 2020, I think. It was 2020. For the first time. It was so cool, and I was like, man, how have I not been here?
Yeah, I know. Oh, me and Jess were going to go very soon.
It is very cool.
We're trying to go like maybe this year, but I don't think it'll be this year.
It is amazing.
We're going to make it worthwhile,
Yeah, if you did like do the flight from here to Queenstown, that flight is just majestic.
Oh, yeah.
Because you fly over the Southern Alps. For those listening, we're in New Zealand. In New Zealand, we've got a North Island and a South Island. The South Island is like just a completely different country than the North Island. Basically, like you've got North Island, South Island, both just seem very polar opposites. South Island, like the entire centre of the South Island is
mountain ranges,
majestic mountain ranges, some of the best mountains you will ever see anywhere. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, that flight from the North Island to Queenstown's down at the bottom of the South Island, is just amazing.
Do you pretty much just follow their range the whole way down?
Yeah, you follow that range, and you look out there and you're like, the first thing when I looked out there, I was like, there could be a mower down there. that was the first thought that popped into my head.
No Michael Bublé?
No Michael Bublé.
Okay.
no.
Do you think New Zealand still has? I know you think a mower. Yeah. Do you think New Zealand has something like that?
Yes, definitely. I am in big support of there being large cats